All right, sorry guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to math. And today in math, we're gonna be learning about measuring different lengths of something. And what we mean by that, when we measure different lengths, we see how long or short something is. So measuring, we measure how long or short something is. So before we get into measuring, I would like to share a book with you. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to read you the book. All right. This book is called Measure It, and it's on Epic. All right. Our class brought favorite objects from home for show and tell. We get to display them on our class shelf, but Miss Lima says we need to measure them first. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be measuring some objects in my house. At our table, Brooks brought the first book he read by himself. Libby brought a ribbon from her grandmother. I brought a Valentine's Day pencil for my best friend. And Travis brought the box his family's refrigerator came in. So all of these children brought different things, different objects that they want to measure. First, we measure with paper clips. They shouldn't overlap, Miss Lima says, and there shouldn't be gaps in between them. Brooks' book is 8 paper clips wide. Libby's ribbon is 20 paper clips long. My pencil is 7 paper clips long. Travis runs out of paper clips. Then we notice something. So the students are measuring their objects using paper clips. I raise my hand. The paper clips are different sizes. My pencil is 7 paper clips long with these, but it's 4 paper clips long with these. You're right, says Mrs. Lima. Things like paper clips vary in size. That's why standard measurements like centimeters and inches were invented. They are always the same. This time, Libby measures the ribbon with a ruler. Here's a ruler. It's 21 inches long. Brooks measures his book with a ruler. It's 21 centimeters tall, but Libby's ribbon took longer than the book. Libby's ribbon looks longer than the book. Inches are bigger than centimeters, our teacher explains. Let's all measure in centimeters. At our table, we pretend our special things are in a family. Ribbon is the oldest, book is the second oldest, pencil is shorter than book, so it is also shorter than ribbon. But what about Travis's box? Brooks asks. He is the giant that will eat the family, Travis says. Our things are 218 centimeters all together. Our class lines up all our special things by length. That's what we're going to measure by length. My pencil is the same as Alexa's mermaid. That means they're twins. Altogether, our special things are 687 centimeters long. The shelf is only 150 centimeters long. I have an idea. Each table can take a turn putting their things on the shelf. Our table goes first, but our items still don't fit. I guess there's only room for mine, Travis says. Travis, we all say. He takes something out of his pocket. Here, I brought something smaller. It's a stinger, Travis says. He puts it on the shelf. It's less than a centimeter. We can barely see it. Though she be but little, she is fierce, he says, pointing to where the bee stung him. So, they're going to measure the stinger that a bee stung him. So they're going to measure that stinger. It's going to be really small. The lunch bell rings. We decided to line up in order of height. I'm the line leader and the first to get hot lunch. Yes. The end. So in this book, kids were measuring different things by length, by height, by how tall they are, by how long or short things were. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure by length. That means how tall or short something is. And when we measure things, we usually measure things with a ruler like we saw in the book. So here's a ruler that I have. And this ruler is pretty big. Usually rulers go from here to here, so 12 inches, but this ruler goes all the way to 18 inches. And then on the bottom, on the other side, you can measure in centimeters. But that's something that you guys will do once you're a little bit older, measuring with rulers. Another thing that you can use to measure is that I found is a tape measurer, and this extends so far, so long. So a community helper that uses tape measures could be builders, because they need to know how long like a piece of wood is or something that they need to cut to make a building or like a road or something. So we're not going to use this. What we're going to use to measure are pennies. So I have a jar of pennies, and we're going to use, this is going to be like our ruler. This is how we're going to measure length, how long or short something is. And you can measure with anything. So if you're at home and you don't have like a ruler, you can measure with pennies, you can measure with paper clips, just like how the kids in the story were doing. They're using paper clips to measure. You have to make sure that what you're using to measure is the same size, because like in the book that we saw, in the book that we read, when they were measuring with paper clips, they came out to be different sizes, right? So that made what they're measuring different lengths. So we would need to make sure that what we're using is the same, it's consistent. So we're going to use pennies, because pennies are all the same size. There's not going to be pennies that are bigger or smaller. They're all the same size. They're pretty consistent. They are consistent. So we're going to use this as our ruler. So over here, where I have my hand, that's going to be where I put my objects. So let's start with, I found a little eraser. So when you measure things, you need to make sure that you are starting at the edge of something. So here's the edge of my table. Because if we just start here, it's not gonna be an accurate measure. So we need to make sure that it's on the edge right here. I wish I could zoom it in more, but I think that will do for now. All right, so there's that. So I have a little eraser, and I'm starting on the edge. So I'm going to use my pennies. I'm going to start measuring. So I'm going to take one by one. So let's see. I need to make sure, I need to place my penny right next to, on the edge too. I need to start on the edge. And I need to make sure that it's right next to the eraser, because if I start putting my penny here, that's not going to give me a right measurement. It's off. So you need to make sure that it's right next to it, right on the edge. You need to start right on the edge. All right. So let's see. Do I need another one, or do you think it matches the same length? Let's see. Do I need another one? I don't think I do, because look, there's some space right here. It's not that long, my eraser, so I don't need another one. So the eraser is about 1 penny long. It only takes 1 penny to measure the length. And I say about because it's not exactly 1 penny. There's still a little bit of a space right here, but if we put another penny, that's too much. That's too much of a space. So it's about 1 penny long. there's that. So let's do another one. Let's do a pencil this time. So I'm going to put my pencil. Remember, I need to start at the edge of my table. You always need to start at the edge so that you have an accurate measure. Now I'm going to take my pennies and line it up next to my pencil, and I need to make sure that I start at the edge too, so they start at the same starting point. They always have to start at the same starting point. You don't want to put your penny in the middle or somewhere on the top. No, just always start at the edge. So where my table starts, or my surface. I need to make sure. So we still have a lot of space. So we don't have, it's not going to be one penny long because there's a whole space right here. It has to reach the top of the pencil. So let's keep going. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should I keep going? Yeah, I should keep going. There's still space. I haven't reached the top of the pencil. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fix a little bit. Let's see, do I need one more? Would that be 2? No, I think one more would be too much because there's not space right there. The pencil stops right there, so we don't need that. So let's count our pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the pencil is about 10 pennies long. So it takes 10 pennies to find the length of this pencil. So it's 10 pennies long. Pretty cool. Let's do something else. Let's do another object. I'll put my pennies back in the jar. Let's do, I have a Band-Aid. There's a Band-Aid in here. So let's start at the edge and let's measure the length, how long or short something is, or this Band-Aid is. So I always have to start on the edge to get an accurate measure. Let's see. Okay. All right. Yeah, my camera. So there's the edge. So now let's start with a penny. Remember, we have to align that on the edge too. Line it up next to the Band-Aid. 1. Remember, we have to fill the pennies all the way to match the end of the Band-Aid. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can use another one. 5. Yeah, because if I put another one, that's too long. There's still space right here. It goes past the Band-Aid. So we don't need that extra penny. I think this is perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This Band-Aid is 5 pennies long. And I think it's exactly 5 pennies long. Because, yeah, it matches right. It lines up. So it's 5 pennies long. Pretty cool. Let's do another one. Let's do a fork. Let's measure the length of a fork. So put it on the edge. Ready? Start with our pennies. You need to line it up. Put it on the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 looks about right. Let's do one more. 9. Nah. 8 pennies. is the length of our fork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, pretty cool. Let's do another object. Let's do one more. So this is a thank you card, or the card that you can write a message to someone. So let's line that up to the edge. Get our pennies and start measuring. Starting at the edge. 1. Remember, when you're measuring, don't leave gaps like this. Do you see how there's gaps in between? Don't do that. That's not an accurate measure. There should be no gaps. All the pennies, or whatever object that you're using, should be close together, right? Stuck next to each other. So I have 4. They should be touching each other. 5, 6, 7. Let's see, we add one more. 8. Nah, we don't need that. It goes past the card. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this card is about 7 pennies long. That's how long it is. Wow, pretty cool. Who knew measuring? You can measure things with different objects, right? Like pennies, or like paper clips, or maybe you have an like different erasers at home, but that are the same size. All right, let me end this because I don't need this anymore. All right. So now I want to show you guys the activity that you're going to do on Seesaw, and you get to measure. So I put a lot of activities this time for measuring. I found a lot. I thought they were pretty cool. All right, so let me share my screen. All right. So one of the activities that you're going to do on Seesaw is called measuring length in squares. You're going to add your response, find your name. All right, so you have different objects here. Oops, hold on. This is bothering me. Okay, go that way. All right. So you have different objects here. A tree, a pencil, a car, a cat, a fish, and you're going to have to measure. You're going to color the squares that are next to it to show the length of each of these objects. So you can take let's do one of these. You can pick which one you want. A pencil. I'm going to do these ones. These are a little bit fatter. All right. Let me change the color. All right. So you're going to have to color in, fill in the squares, and you're going to have to stop where the object stops. So let's do the tree together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do I want to go up to there? No, it doesn't go all the way up to the top. I'm gonna take that away. So this tree, let's count this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this tree is about 9 squares. Remember, we're using squares to measure. So it's about 9 squares. And we always want to use the word about when we're using things that when we're not measuring with a ruler, because these things are the exact size. So we have to say about. All right, let's do the pencil. Let me change the color. All right, let's do pink. So we always have to start on the bottom. And look, they're at the edge. All right, let's start at the bottom. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think it stops right there. So this pencil is about 6 squares. Let's do the car. do purple. One. Oh, that was too big. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The car is about 5 squares long. Now let's do the cat. Ready? 1. Oh, you can't see that. 1, 2, 3. Nah, there's space right there. So this cat is about 2 squares long. Let's do the fish. Can I scroll down? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oops. Hold on. 3, 4. Should we do 5? Nah, 5 is way too far. 4 is perfect. So the fish is about 4 squares long. And then you're done with that. You can submit that. And then another activity that I have, and I'm not going to go through it, but I'm just going to show it to you. So this one is called measuring with emojis. This one's pretty fun. So you're going to add your response. And then this one says, choose an emoji you like and measure each of the objects below. Use the same emoji for all of the objects. Record the lengths of each object you measured. Which object was the longest, which was the shortest, and how do you know? That part's at the end. So what you want to do, you can get a picture of an emoji. So your parent or whoever is helping you has to help you with that and load an emoji on here. If you go to the picture, there's an option for you to upload your emoji picture, and then you can use that. So you can use that, and you have to use the same emoji to measure each of these objects. And at the end, you can see the circle on the bottom. You can answer which object was the longest, which was the shortest, and how do you know? And you can record yourself saying all these things. And then, let's see, another one that you can do, which I thought was pretty cool, is this one. It says, it's called hand measurement. Work with a friend. So let me show you this. Can I do my directions from here? No, okay. It says, oh, where did it go? So work with a friend to compare hands. So you and maybe like your dad or your mom or your brother can compare your hand size. Take a photo of your hands. You might need to have a friend to do this for you. And then record yourself telling about it. How do you know who has a longer hand, who has a smaller hand or a shorter hand, a bigger hand, a smaller hand? So you're going to upload your picture and record yourself telling us about your picture of you and your partner's hand. So that's what I have for math. So you guys are going to be measuring machines and measuring the length. Remember, length is how long or short something is. I can't wait to see all your measuring, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.